Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome tonight to a very, very special evening in the Spotless Arena. For the very first time at the Sydney Royal Easter Show, we have extended an invitation to the most successful rodeo champions from Australasia and New Zealand. We call it the All-Stars Challenge. It runs tonight and tomorrow night to determine the international best competitors in the individual events. Tonight, we feature the bareback bronc riding, the steer wrestling, ladies barrel racing, saddle bronc riding, and the most dangerous sport in the world, the sport of bull riding competition. There are 6 competitors that have been invited to this extra special challenge, and tonight you are going to see the cream of both nations ride for the champion of champions, all-star winner. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for the cowboys and cowgirls of international rodeo competition and the All-Stars Challenge. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to tip their hats to you as we get set for battle. Take your hats off, ladies and gentlemen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's bareback bronc riding competition here tonight. It's going to be the first event on our program as we get set to go in the bareback bronc riding competition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome into the arena the pickup riders for the bareback and bronc riding events, the Kelly boys, the R.M. Williams brothers, David and Peter Kelly, that'll be utilised in the bareback and bronc riding competition. Now, our first event tonight is the Balanced Ride of Rodeo, and it's the New Zealand bareback riding champion from Outram, New Zealand, Joe Fettyman, 26 years of age. It's Red Jack Championship round. Well, the long spurring action commences, the riding for 8 seconds. Well, he represented their nation, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put our hands together for the New Zealand bareback riding champion from Outram, New Zealand, Joe Fettyman. He first won the New Zealand bareback title in 2011. Scores come through from our officials, bearing in mind they score 1 to 25 points for the livestock, 1 to 25 points for the horse's performance. Add the 250-point scores together for a grand total of 100 points. Well, our New Zealand champion starts the night off with a great score, folks. 74 points, New Zealand champion Joe Fettyman. Well, let's go this time for a young man from Mossvale, south of Sydney. This is Harry Ash, the Southern Zone New South Wales bareback riding champion. Oh yeah, this boy's off to Odessa, Texas College next year. Ladies and gentlemen, he's one of Australia's rising stars. Well, folks, it's your opportunity to welcome back to the arena, 20 years of age from Mossvale, New South Wales, Harry Ash. Well, what an outstanding start. Let's watch this on the big screen. This little horse really stood up, took a little angle. Now he gets an upper body extended right back. The spurring motion looks good as our officials. Scores come through. Well, ladies and gentlemen, from Mossvale, we'll nearly call him a local. 75 points for the Southern State bareback riding champion, Harry Ash. Well, ladies and gentlemen, bear down to the Australian professional high point bareback riding champion. From Malali, New South Wales, the most experienced contestant in this competition. He won 4 rounds at the International Series this week. The horse that he's drawn from the Castless Station, New South Wales. It's Stefan time. Big, strong, powerful jumps and kicks. Really touches that upper body. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to put your hands together for one of the nation's toughest bareback riders, Wade Clifford. And the horse brought to us here tonight from the Castless Station in Central West, that was Wade Clifford. Well, the first of our competitors bucked off in the round of the competition. the Australian Pro Tour champion. Well, watch this on the big screen. Now watch the front feet of this horse, how it changes its direction. It lands on its left, it then lands on its right. Really puts his upper body off the point of balance and forced him down to the arena floor. That's disappointing for Wade Clifford. Well, as our next competitor joins us from Rockhampton, Queensland. 23 years of age, this is Brodie Adams. It's Swamp Fever time. Oh, look at this North Queensland rookie of 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the greatest bucking horses of all time from the John Gill Rodeo Company. What about a big Sydney welcome for the Rockhampton champion, Brodie Adams? Man, look at this on the big screen, ladies and gentlemen. His upper body gets down to his riding arm, all the force on his riding hand. It launches his hand out of that suitcase-type handle. What a horse. What an outstanding horse from the John Gill Rodeo Company. The horse called Swamp Fever, one of the many bred bucking horses from their rodeo contingent. And haven't they produced some champions here this weekend? Well, it's come down to shoot number 2 to our next competitor in the competition. This time we're getting set for one of the matchups of the round. From Lismore, New South Wales, this is Cohen Collins. He's a fencing contractor. The horse that he's drawn, the former bucking horse of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed the bareback riding so far, get a good seat and a great vantage because this horse is a champion. This is Ramblin' Angel from the John Gill Rodeo Company. This is an outstanding bucking horse, but what about the efforts once again? Ladies and gentlemen, John Gill breeds these bucking horses on their property in Wagga Wagga, New South Wales. They are the superstar horses versus the very best cowboys in our nation. And that was Ramblin' Angel successfully brings down our champion bareback rider. Well, let's get set to go with the final of our bareback riders in the competition tonight. This time from Rakia on the South Island of New Zealand, their rookie champion of 2013. This is Tom Pluckett. Now, Tom's 22 years of age. We invited the national and rookie champions of both nations for this series competition. We give the young men an opportunity, the rising stars and the next generation of cowboys, the opportunity to come forth here this weekend. Okay, it's time to ride, ladies and gentlemen. New Zealand rookie champion. And what about the horse? Whiskey Woman from the John Gill Rodeo Company. What an effort. What a ride, ladies and gentlemen of Sydney. You are seeing the best of both New Zealand and Australia. Tom Pluckett, the 22-year-old rookie from Rakia on the South Island. Well, we'll check the numbers from the officials. 72 points, 72. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set for our next event here tonight, I'd like to welcome to the arena the winner of our first category here tonight from Mossvale, New South Wales. How about a big Sydney welcome for Harry Ash, 75 points. Well, congratulations, Harry, here in the main arena. Tell me, the talk of the town is that you're off to the Odessa, Texas College later this year to follow the sport of rodeo competition. A little more opportunity in the United States?
Yeah, it should be good. I'm pretty excited for it, so get on some good horses and have some fun.
You've just finished a big year here in New South Wales, won the Southern States Rookie of the Year, and you also won the Southern States Bareback Riding Champion. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations, Harry. We're going to see a lot more of you. Best of luck tomorrow night here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Ladies and gentlemen, he's one of Australia's rising stars. Off to the Odessa, Texas College, USA. That's Harry Ash. Well, we're going to go to the big men event of rodeo competition, and this is where we call the All-Stars Rodeo Challenge. Let's look to the list of riders. It representing the 2013 National Steer Wrestling Champion was Glenn Chafe. The Australian all-round champion that year was Heath Nichols from Scone. It'll be Heath Nichols closest to our Sydney Royal stand, and it'll be Glenn Chafe closest to the Martin and Angus stand. We have got the boys from Scone, New South Wales. Heath Nichols, livestock agent. Glenn Chafe, property owner, developer with his dad, Russell Chafe, second generation Australian steer wrestling champion. Now, in this event, watch the lights. You'll see red, amber, and green. The lights are on. The Cowboys are out. It's Glenn Chafe from Walgett, Heath Nichols from Scone. They shape him up. It's going to be close. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a round in the competition that time to Heath Nichols. Put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Just tell me. 5'9".
8.6 over there. 8.6.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I checked the times from our officials. Glenn Chafe from Walgett was 8.6 seconds. Heath Nichols from Scone, New South Wales, 5.9. Well, it's Heath Nichols takes the lead. The Australian all-round champion cowboy of 2013. Well, we talk about the rookie riders, the next generations of champions. We welcome this time from Scone in the Hunter Valley, Jake Roots. Jake was the Australian Rookie of the Year in 2014. He competes against the New Zealand champion, Richie Morrow, from Alexandria on the South Island. Richie was a 2013-14 New Zealand. Oh, what a run for the Kiwi! Well, we'll check all. The New South Wales cowboy failed to catch. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got with me the 2013-14 New Zealand steer wrestling champion. Richie, this is the first time we've had this concept for the Challenge of Champions, the All-Stars. How do you think it's going at this point?
Oh, look, it's a real privilege to be here at this occasion, and we really respect the opportunity of coming here. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, you're going to respect it a whole lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, the New Zealand two-time champion, 4.3 seconds, takes the lead. The Kiwi, Richie Morrow from Alexandria, 4.3. Had a no time for Jake Roots in the competition, unfortunately. A no time, but a 4.3 to Richie Morrow. Well, as we come down to the next round of our competition, let's watch the current Australian champion, closest to the Martin and Angus stand, Jock Bone Langdon from Singleton, New South Wales. And from Charters Towers, North Queensland, Riley Gibb, the 2014 North Queensland steer wrestling champion. Well, this is a great matchup. The young guns of National Australia Sports. They get out, they reach a little wide. Well, the pressure here tonight has all been a little too quick for our competitors. Of course, we'll see Riley Gibb through this State of Origin series. Starts in 2 days' time. And it's unfortunate because Jockbone Langdon, through our international series, won 3 of the 5 rounds. So neither of those competitors will qualify in the individual steer wrestling here tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, the winner in the first round of the All-Stars Rodeo Challenge here tonight, I'd like you to put your hands together for Richie Morrow from Alexandria, New Zealand. He leads the individual championship, 4.3 seconds. Heath Nichols from Scone in New South Wales, 5.9 is second. And Glenn Chafe from Walgett in Western New South Wales, 8.6 are the fastest times in that opening round of our Steer Wrestling All-Stars Championship. Well, as we get set to go with our next event on the program tonight, it is going to be the saddle bronc riding competition, and we welcome back into the arena our pickup riders, of course, the pickup men being Peter Kelly, brother David, as we get set for an event where our sport of rodeo evolved right back in the turn of the 19th century, where horsemen would challenge one another at the end of a big mustering day's work. These men, where stockyards and fences were literally non-existent, would challenge one another to a competition to see who could ride the roughest and toughest horse in the stock camp. Well, from that challenge of stockmen, Australian horsemen, the sport of rodeo evolved. Well, I want to tell you, the first man we're going to see here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the finest young horsemen, stockmen this country has ever produced. One of three brothers, Reese, Cody, and Ty Anglin. Their dad, Phil Anglin, was an all-round champion cowboy, rodeoed with himself in the 70s and 80s, the next generation of the Anglin boys. And I can assure you, this guy is a superstar in our sport of rodeo action. Let's see what he does. It's Whiskey Boy, this time from the John Gill Rodeo Company. Come on, Reese, show the people of Sydney how good this kid can ride. Ladies and gentlemen, from Wanabadgery, New South Wales, Reese Anglin on the outstanding bucking horse here tonight. It's Whiskey Boy time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him to the Sydney Royal Easter Show. That's Reese Anglin. Well, we'll check from the officials, bearing in mind half the score devoted for the Cowboys' riding style. Numbers come through for the Wanabadgery champion. Ladies and gentlemen, 78 points. A great way to start our saddle bronc riding. He was a 2006, 2009, and 2011 Australian professional champion cowboy. Well, as we go down the chutes a little further, we welcome the next of our contestants from Bingra, Northern New South Wales, the 2004 Australian professional Mitch Steger. Sioux City Sue, the hard spur and Bingra cowboy, goes through that spurring motion for the full 8 seconds and waits for that 8-second whistle, ladies and gentlemen. It's all good for the 2004 national champion. Let's welcome the cowboy this time. It was indeed Mitch Steger. Well, he makes that copybook spurring style that has consolidated him at the top of the National Pro Tours. 73 points. 73 points here tonight for Mitchell. 7-3. Where's Tommy? Well, we clear the arena, take the horses back to the chutes. Well, so far we've seen two of Australia's champion saddle bronc riders. Well, this next young man is the next breed of champions in our sport of rodeo. From a property called Sunshine Station up at Gunnedah in northern New South Wales, this is 20 years Tom Knight, young cowboy that won the Australian Rookie of the Year. His first full season as a saddle bronc rider throughout the eastern states of Australia, he accumulated more points and prize money than any other young cowboy. Now, Tom has just advised me midway through April, he will be also heading off to the United States of America. A lot of our top young athletes in the sport of rodeo get and win a scholarship to compete in the college in USA. This young man's off to Snyder College. Earlier today, we saw Harry Ash in the bareback riding off to Odessa. Tom Knight from Gunnedah, New South Wales, Australian Rookie of the Year. And the horse that he's drawn, it's Eagle. Well, little chestnut horse, around about 24 years of age, has been one of the most consistent saddle broncs for, I guess, the last 10, 15 years in our sport of rodeo competition. Looking to get a good, strong start down in that saddle, nice and easy. It's Eagle time. The boy from Gunnedah, ladies and gentlemen, he stands over 6 foot tall. Look at that long, smooth spurring action for the 8-second period. Well, as our pickup riders move in, his first year competing in the All-Stars Series. Put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen, from Gunnedah, New South Wales, Tom Knight. Well, the score to beat at this point of time, Reese Anglin, 78 points. Well, he gets that nice spur out. Numbers come through. It's a 66-point score for Tom tonight. 66 points from our officials, 66. From this event, we go to the ladies' barrel racing competition, and we wrap it up with that bull riding competition. Well, as we turn our attention to a little town in Western Australia called Waroona, Western Australia, Tyrell Smith. 23 years of age, he was the Western Australia 2014 bull riding and all-round champion cowboy. Saddle bronc riding title holder in 2013, and it's Rocky Top from the John Gill Rodeo Company, Western Australia, represented by one of their all-time great young cowboys. What a way to finish it for Western Australian champion, Tyrell Smith. Well, as our pickup riders, they've got a tough task, get these boys off safely. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Peter Kelly that gets him onto the ground. Put your hands together for the team here in the main arena, in our spotless arena here tonight. It was Tyrell Smith from Waroona, Western Australia. Numbers coming through from the officials. Score of 65 points. 65 points, 65. Well, as we get set to move on down the list of competitors a little further here tonight, we've got two competitors remaining in the saddle bronc riding competition. From the saddle bronc riding, we'll go to the ladies' barrel racing and wrap it up with a round of the biggest, meanest, wildest bulls that you've ever seen at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. And that bull riding event will be the fifth of our categories here in the competition this weekend. Well, we look down to the next competitor in the competition, ladies and gentlemen, and certainly a story to tell with this young man. This will be Ben Matum from Stroud, New South Wales. Ben, when he was only 18 years of age, won the World Championship camp drafting here. For the last 3 years, has devoted his life to the sport of rodeo competition. Last year, lived in Ontario, Canada. He qualified for the International Professional Rodeo Association Finals in Oklahoma City. Well, this young Aussie cowboy, first trip to Oklahoma, won the IAPA Rookie of the Year in saddle bronc riding competition. Let's welcome him back to Team Australia. This is Benny Maiden from Stroud, New South Wales, and the horse that he's drawn, it's Arrow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a great effort to come back from Ontario, Canada, to win the IPRA Rookie of the Year. Let's welcome him back to the land down under. That is Ben Matum. Well, another of those outstanding bucking horses from the John Gill Rodeo Company. It was Ben Matum in the saddle here tonight. What's that? 73 points, 73. Well, as we get set to go with our next competitor in the competition here tonight, this is the New Zealand champion from Kaitia on the North Island, Ramon Niho. Now watch this particular horse, ladies and gentlemen. This is Texas Lil, bred from a famous bucking horse called Lily the Lifter that was owned by the John Gill Rodeo Company. This horse has not been ridden at this year's Sydney Royal Easter Show. Ramon Niho, one of their most experienced saddle bronc riders and the current champion of their nation in the All-Stars Challenge. He's going to need more than 78 points in the competition tonight. New Zealand champion, Texas Lil from the John Gill Rodeo Company. Just too big, too strong, and highly successful here tonight from the John Gill Rodeo Company. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that really does highlight the fact of the quality of horses and livestock here we have at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Well, we checked from all the officials, we checked the numbers, it has now come through. Ladies and gentlemen, our winner tonight of the All-Stars Saddle Bronc riding first round, all the way originally from Wanabadgery, New South Wales. Let's welcome Reese Anglin. Well, Reese, congratulations, mate. It's great to see you back here in Sydney. And, of course, big win tonight, 78 points. But a little more to the people of Sydney. The three brothers, you grew up down in southern New South Wales. You grew up around rodeo. I think when I first met all three of you, you all competed in potty calf rides and continued on in the horse and equine industry.
Yeah, no, we were very fortunate. Dad and our mum grew up in rodeo, and we've been up brought down on horses all our life. And yeah, Ty just went with the jockey side of it, and yeah, we've flown the flag high in rodeo. But you know, it's great to come to Sydney and get on good horses and yeah, have a good crowd.
Well, it was a Group 1 winner tonight, Ty. Congratulations, young man. Reese Anglin, ladies and gentlemen. He's our man in the rodeo arena. Reese Anglin, the winner of Saddle Bronc riding, 78 points in Saddle Bronc riding competition. Well, as we get set to go with our next event here tonight, it is going to be the ladies' barrel racing competition. Pretty ladies and fast horses, the order of the competition. Now, watch the light system. Now, matching up first up tonight in the ladies' barrel racing is the 2014 Australian Rookie of the Year, Brianna Lemont from Tamworth. She rides a beautiful big grey horse called the Cowboy Rock, and representing on our southern side on the Martin and Angus stand is the two-time national Australian champion, Bianca Hurdle from Canamble. She won the title in 13, she regained the crown in 14, and she rides a mare called Cash. Well, the lights are on, the girls are out. Well, it's out and around the first turn. There's nothing separating the Rookie of the Year and the national champion. They come to, oh, there has been a slightly hiccup. A little horse just slipped momentarily. Well, ladies and gentlemen, put our hands together for our winner and our champion tonight, Bianca Hurdle. But what about a round of applause for young Bianca? Folks, her first year in Sydney, she's the current Rookie of the Year. Come on, Sydney, put your hands together for her. 17.2 for old Bianca, 17.2. Well, that's the unfortunate side of our sport of rodeo competition. She's up on her feet. She is okay here tonight. And we will get ready to run with our next matchup in the competition. Well, let's see who we bring forward next. From Camden, our next competitor, 19 years of age, Hayley Hill. Well, Hayley was the 2013 Rookie of the Year. She rides a great little buckskin horse called Richie, and she takes on the Victorian champion from Albury, Marie Oddie. Well, Marie, unfortunately, has got a barrel down. She'll incur a 5-second penalty. Takes that second turn, nothing separating the cowgirl from Victoria, and it is young Hayley Hill from Sydney, New South Wales. Well, we will check the times because there will be a 5-second penalty to Marie Oddie from Albury. Marie is the Victorian champion. Well, we had a time of 17.9 for Hayley Hill. That's a second fastest on the night, 17.9. 17.6 for Marie Oddie plus a 5-second penalty. 17.6 plus that 5-second penalty for Marie Oddie. Well, this is an interesting challenge because we've got mother versus daughter combination challenge. Courtney McKinley on the Palomino from Braidwood takes on Liz McKinley from Willow Tree. Well, this is going to be something to talk about when they get home this weekend. It's Liz McKinley on the chestnut, the first around that second barn. It is her daughter, Courtney, 19 years of age on the big Palomino. But it's age and experience that brings her home here tonight. It's Liz McKinley from Willow Tree, New South Wales, riding that all-famous and popular chestnut baldy horse in the competition here tonight called Doc. Well, we'll check the times as they come through from both officials. 17.57. Had a time of 17.5 for Liz, 17.5 for Liz McKinley, and 18.9 for Courtney, 18.9. So, ladies and gentlemen, our winner of the first night of the All-Stars Ladies Barrel Racing Championship, it is the National Australian Champion. How about a big round of applause for Bianca Hurdle, ladies and gentlemen, from Canamble. Takes out the opening round. She is the leader on night number 1 of the All-Stars Rodeo Challenge with her incredible quarter-horse mare called Cash. 17.2 seconds. Liz McKinley was second with a time of 17.57. And Hayley Hill, the young 19-year-old superstar from Camden, 17.9, runs her way into third place in our competition. Well, we're getting set to go with our next event on the program here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Situation is there are two men that we rely on heavily in our sport of rodeo competition. They are called the Protection Clowns. And protection is something that they are superstars at. And I'd like to welcome into the arena here tonight, a big round of applause for them, Lincoln Brown and Warren Norton. Well, back at it, superstars, all-stars, and they've got the guns when it comes to the sport of bull riding. Lincoln Brown, just for the people of Sydney, you've been performing here at the Sydney Royal Show for, I guess, nearly 10 years. You've been 5 times the Australian Bullfighter of the Year. Is that correct?
Yeah, Morgs, that's correct. Yeah, like I competed originally down here as a younger fella riding bulls, and since then I've moved on to fight bulls, and yeah, I've been good enough to achieve 5 titles. So yeah, it's a pretty good achievement, I think.
Tell me, last night in the competition here in the main arena, we had John Gill's bulls from down at Wagga Wagga, and we did not have a score. Like, they were intimidating. They all weigh about 900 kilos, which is close to a tonne. Every single one of them had a set of horns about 3 feet wide. Do you think they intimidated the riders a little?
Yeah, mate, definitely. They intimidate everyone, you know. Like, when they run up the chutes, they are big and scary. And, you know, one thing about Happy, they know how to breed them big, and they know how to breed them with plenty of horn on them. And, you know, they are good big show bulls, and it does pay, definitely does play a part in it.
Well, it certainly does. I'm going to catch up with your mate Warren here, of course, while I keep one eye on the chutes, because, folks, we're out here and we're in no man's land. I mean, it'll be every man for himself, and you guys won't think about me, guarantee it. Warren, you've certainly the veteran when it comes to it. Is it 7 times, correct me if I'm wrong, 7 times Australian Bullfighter of the Year?
Yeah, that's right, Glenn. You know, it's something I've been quite, you know, proud of, and it's great to work with people like Lincoln Brown in this sort of profession, because it's, you know, it's a great team, and, you know, we got to watch each other's back, and, you know, and that's why we work so well together.
We looked down the list of bulls that we've got here tonight, and I said they're very intimidating, they're big, they're strong, and they're powerful. But I do believe this All-Stars lineup of cowboys we've got here tonight, featuring Jason O'Hearn, Chris Lowe. We've brought in some big gun riders this week, and they took the challenge for the All-Stars series. Do you think we're in for some high scores tonight?
Yeah, I think we'll see some terrific rides tonight, Glenn. You know, they've also brought in some great stock, but there is some great boys that are coming here to get on them.
Well, I tell you what, guys, you're the unsung heroes when it comes to the sport of rodeo competition, and particularly bull riding. Ladies and gentlemen of Sydney, I would request you put your hands together for these guys. You watch, wait and listen. But a big round of applause from welcome them back. It's day number 7 at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. And, of course, it is bull riding. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is night number 7 of our Sydney Royal Easter Show. And last night, in this same arena, with EC and Bulls, we did not have one single solitary score. Are you ready for some bull riding tonight? Hey, listen, hang on a minute. This is the Super All-Stars lineup. We have brought in Australia and New Zealand's #1 bull riders. We've bought the biggest, the baddest, and the boldest Brahman bulls from the eastern states of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe Wednesday night, but I'm sure we can do a little better. Let's make a little noise and raise the house. Are you ready for bull riding? Well, as we get set for the business, look down the chutes. Every single bull that's come forward so far's horns span 3 feet wide. It's the intimidation time of the Sydney Royal Easter Show. You see it but once a year here in Sydney, and it's Australia's best bull riders take on the rankest bulls from the John Gill Rodeo Company. First contestant out is the 2014 North Queensland Bull Riding Champion. He's a contract musterer from Collinsville. This is Jake Plate. Now, Jake is only 20 years of age. He won the 2013 Rookie of the Year. The following season, travelled the length and breadth of North Queensland to win their state championship. It gives him the opportunity to compete here tonight. And the bull that he takes on is Flying Feathers. Now, in this event, the tools of the trade are quite simple. There's a thin leather glove. There's a bull riding rope with a handhold of approximately 18 inches. The idea is that you tie your hand to the back of a bull that weighs about 800 plus kilos. Your free hand must not come in contact. Watch chute number 6, our first contestant from Collinsville, North Queensland. Are we going to get a score? Remember, the louder you clap, the harder you cheer, the more chance of a great ride and a high score. Man, it has happened first up here tonight. Jake Plate from Collinsville. He will be the first victim to fall short of our 8-second qualifying ride. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, you can pull your hands out of your pockets and put your hands together for these guys. Come on, folks. It is bull riding as the North Queensland champion comes down early in our competition. Well, let's turn the tables a little. Let's move on down to chute number 2, to the New Zealand bull riding champion. This is a man by the name of Fraser Babington. He was the New Zealand bull riding champion. For the last 3 years, has lived in Beaudesert, Queensland. He qualified through the Australian Professional Bull Riding Tour. And tonight, the bull he takes on is Horrible Manners. Well, with a name that applies like that, you can only expect this bull to have attitude. He's got strength, power, athleticism, combines all three together. Hey, look out that gates. All eyes set for the New Zealand bull riding champion, Fraser Babington. Gets set. This guy won night number 2 of the International Series here on Friday evening with an 82-point score. Can he recapture that same form to continue on in our All-Stars Rodeo Series? The best of the best, the individual championships. Fraser Babington from Gisborne, New Zealand. Hey, look at the Kiwi champion started up, ladies and gentlemen. We said it'd be good. Come on, Sydney! Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's taken the New Zealand champion, the man to be the first 8-second qualified here tonight. Come on, Sydney. Let's put our hands together for Fraser Babington. Well, that bull jumped out of there, got to the spin to the right, got his upper body down a little, but boy, made a great recovery to wrap the ride up and hear the 8-second whistle in the background. Judges in this event, as in all the rough stock, scoring this rider individually. Half of the score devoted to the Cowboys' riding style, another half of the overall points to the bull's performance. Well, the numbers coming through from the officials, it looks like it is good for a score of 75 points. 75 here tonight, 75 for Fraser Babington, 7-5. Well, that may just be the inspirational start we needed for the rest of our competitors. We did say in the sport of bull riding, you learn to expect the unexpected. Nothing happens twice in the bull riding arena. You can sometimes predict, but you can never guarantee. Well, as you can understand, it's an essential part of our competition to remove the bull from the arena before the start of our next competitor. Well, let's move on down to our next contestant, this time from Braidwood in New South Wales. This is Tim Amy. He's 29 years of age. He's the 2014 Southern Zone Bull Riding Champion. He won that same title back in 2008. The bull that he's drawn, another of the John Gill bulls called the Rude Manners. Well, they're all a part of that breeding program. The progeny lives on here in the main arena at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Tim Amy, we've seen this young man win some of the feature events. Not recently, he won the bull riding in Hawkesbury. Big white Brahman tips him back. He stays up. He's moving the outside foot, trying to make that 8-second whistle. We'll wait and see what the judges have got him a little short, I believe. Well, ladies and gentlemen, your appreciation means a lot to these kids from Braidwood, New South Wales. Tim Amy. Well, watch this on the big screen. Now, watch his free hand, ladies and gentlemen. Watch his free hand, the one up in the air. It's not to come in contact with the bull at any point of time. Well, it did on that occasion. Judges have got him for a touchdown and a no score. Well, that's a little disappointing it was for Tim Amy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to draw your attention to the next man. This is Jason O'Hearn, 35 years of age. Now, if you were playing rugby league or cricket, 35 years of age, you're at the end of your professional career. I want you to make your own assessment here tonight, folks. He was a 2004 Australian Professional Bull Riding Champion. He was a 2005 Canadian PBR Bull Riding Finals Champion. And the bull that he's drawn from the country music capital, Jason O'Hearn, is on dirty water. Remember, this is one of our all-time great legends. He jumped at the opportunity to ride against the All-Stars, the best of New Zealand and Australia. Jason O'Hearn will be our next contender for the championships. He chases down a score of 75 points. He is one of the all-time great money earners in the sport of Australian bull riding. Let's wish him well. It's dirty water time. Jason O'Hearn, 35 years of age. Come on, Jason, show the people of Sydney you still got it. Oh, no. Well, it's going to be too close to call. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he's been bucked off here tonight with a no score. Sydney, your support's needed for this man, 35 years of age and one of Australia's finest, Jason O'Hearn. Well, we come down to the next contestant in bull riding in the competition. This time from Gin Gin, Western Australia. This is the Australian Bull Riding Champion of 2014, Wade McCarthy. When you talk about history, you talk about history in the sport of Australian rodeo. His great-grandfather, Hilton McTaggart, back in 1931, won the saddle buck jump riding at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. His grandfather, Cole McTaggart, won it in 58 and 57. What about the next generation? The boys here tonight from the McCarthy family. Well, we're going to wait and see what the judges come up. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, there will be a score. Let's hear for the boy from Gin Gin, Western Australia. Well, what a great way to start for the current Australian champion. Look at this bull into his hand. His free arm's good. His outside foot moves forward to the bull running. Backs up, goes away from his hand. This can be difficult, but not for Wade McCarthy. He's got him done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for the second generation bull riding rodeo champion, the McCarthy McTaggart name still holds proud place. 86 points for Western Australian champion, Wade McCarthy. Well, won't that granddad be pretty happy tonight? Cole McTaggart, his dad, Steve McCarthy. The McCarthy McTaggart name lives on in the sport of Australian rodeo competition. Well, don't underestimate this guy. This is a young man, 29 years of age, from Bareback, New South Wales, affectionately known as Freddie. This is Chris Lowe, 2013 Australian Professional Bull Riding Champion. It's War Chief. This is one of the dark destroyers of Australian international competition. Well, what a disappointing finish to wrap it up here tonight for the Australian champion, Wade McCarthy. It looks like, we'll check from all of the officials. Well, it is official. There'll be a no score for that contestant. I'll get Wade out. That's all I need, Wade. I'll just use Wade. I think that'll do. Okay, wrap it up with him. Well, as we clear the arena, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just wait till we clear the arena. But I have got it from our officials. Our winner of tonight's Bull Riding Championship is all the way from Gin, Western Australia. Tonight with a score of 86 championship points out of a possible 100. How about a big Sydney welcome to Wade McCarthy? Well, Wade, it's second time we've been in the main arena here to see you win a round of the competition, but this one probably means a little more because this is not for the team's competition. This is for the individual All-Stars Championship. Very, very pleased tonight?
Yeah, very happy. And my granddad rang me up before and told me that his dad won this show 57 years ago, so it's a big achievement just for the family. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, I tell you what, it's a little bit more than that, ladies and gentlemen. It's more than 50 years ago because I look back through the records. It was his great-granddad, Hilton McTaggart, that won the buck jump riding here in 1931. It was his actual grandfather, Colin and Kevin McTaggart, that won the buck jump riding here in 1957. And now the next generation of the McTaggart-McCarthy family can hold its head high here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Let's make him feel pretty special, folks. A third-generation Australian champion, Wade McCarthy from Gin, Western Australia, our bull riding champion here tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does draw to a close our rodeo competition here. The first of two nights of the All-Stars Rodeo Series Championship. It's been an absolute pleasure. We're once again back here tomorrow night at 6:30, and then following that round, we're 6 nights at that grueling State of Origin series between New South Wales and our arch rivals, Queensland. Hope you enjoyed the rodeo. Look forward to bringing you more entertainment as the week unfolds. Till now, it's back to our main ring control, of course, Tim Dravelmain and Angus Lane. Thanks, guys, and we see you back tomorrow night.
Thank you very much, Glenn Morgan. What a great ride there. Isn't it wonderful, the history? Wade McCarthy puts his names in the history books. His grandfather and his great-grandfather both putting their names in there over the generations. And thank you very much to that man as he leaves the arena. Hey, Sydney, how about you put your hands together for the voice of rodeo, Mr. Glenn Morgan. He does an outstanding job. And boy, oh boy, does he make it entertaining, informative. He knows his stuff. Well, we've got plenty of action still to come here tonight in the Spotless Arena. All sorts of things from woodchop to the Australian wool industry showcase, the SAS performers, extreme corruption, and of course later on tonight, the amazing fireworks. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sit back, relax. We're going to have a little bit of a word from some of our sponsors. We've got a bit of music, and not too far away. The next of our nighttime entertainments, woodchop, still to come here in the main arena.
Well, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are we feeling? Fabulous to see you all here on another beautiful night here in Sydney. Are we ready to see some woodchop? All right, well, see what was supposed to happen there is I say woodchop, you guys go nuts. Let's try that again. Are you ready to see some woodchop? That's what I like to hear, ladies and gentlemen. We have some of the best in the business right here for you guys to put their skills against each other. Now, it looks like a competition, but I tell you what, these guys are going to have a heck of a lot of fun. And we can help them out too. Are you ready to meet the teams? Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Number one for the blue team this evening, ladies and gentlemen, on the chainsaw. Please put your hands together for Mr. Darryl Houthworth. Following out on the double saw, give it up for Tom Wilkinson and Phil Campbell. On the single saw, Mr. John Aitken. On the standing block, Mitchell Kirk. On the underhand this evening, Mr. Wes Smith. And anchoring for the blue team tonight, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Mr. Michael Kellett. There is your blue team for this evening. Next up, folks, of course, we need the red team. So make some noise on the chainsaw position one for Mr. Lawrence Toole. On the double saw, Stephen Newman and Gary Adamson. On the single saw, Noel Marsh. The standing block, Ika Vicente. On the underhand, Mr. Ben Shepherd. And to round out the red team, the anchor man, put your hands together on the tree, Mr. Kerry Hewitt. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is how it's going to go. You folks out there need to decide whose team you're going to be on. So, who's on the red team? Not bad, not bad. Who's on the blue team? Wow. Pretty hefty there. I don't know, red team. Looks like you're going to have to do some proving for yourself. All right. Well, make sure, folks, you give them all the love you can. Let's explain what's going to happen. Up the top here, you can see we have the chainsaw. That's going to be the first discipline. As soon as that log hits the ground, you've got the double saw. Next one, the single, the underhand, the standing block, and then the tree. Now, take a look at down this way, folks. You can see the tree right here. Now, for those of you out there who haven't seen woodchop before, this is how it's going to go. The guys have to put a notch in the tree right here, put in a plank, stand on it, climb all the way to the top to start their cut. Once they've done that, they can drop back down, head back up the other side to finish that one off. Obviously, the first one to take the block off the top, it hits the ground, we've got our winner. So what do you say, folks? Are you ready to see some woodchop? All right, axemen, are you ready? Stand to your blocks. Here we go, folks. Do it with me. Let's count them down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. The cuts have started. Chainsaws are away. 2 cuts they need. 1 down and 1 up. As soon as that log hits the ground, the boys will start. Who's it going to be? Red is away. Blue. Come on, folks. Get behind your team. Soaring well so far. This is more about coordination than it is about strength. Teams working together, almost through on red. On the single saw for red. Red are going with a flyer. All those blue teamers out there, get behind your boys. Single saw is started. Nearly through on red. Cutting through, looking good now on the underhand. Now, these boys can come home with an absolute flyer, folks. Last night, there was but a toothpick in it. Underhand started on blue. Both sides of the log need to go, as you know. Razor sharp axe, swinging between the legs there. Swapped over on red. Wood chips flying everywhere. Blue team coming with a flyer. He's all the way around. I think it's the beard. I think if you've got a beard, you cut faster. That's the rule. Looking good so far for red. Coming home with a flyer on blue. 2 standing blocks ready to go. Watching their man. Almost there, getting stuck on this side. Oh, we're close, we're through. Standing blocks away on red. Blue is through. Boys throwing axes in, absolutely hell for leather right now. Cardio, a massive factor. Accuracy on these blocks too. You see the marks on the wood. The guys want to go top and tail to make sure all those wood chips go flying out to get a clean cut. Big swings over here on the red. Looking good. Swapping over for blue, coming home with a flyer. Pushing hard. Come on, folks. Give them your love. Get behind your team. We're away on the tree over here. Blue not too far behind. Up to level 1 on the tree felling for red. Pushing hard this time. Now these axes are absolutely razor sharp. Almost done. Big chop through. We're away on blue. Second level for red. Don't forget the guys are going to go both sides. Once he cuts this one, he's got to come down and back up the other side. Oh, folks, there's nothing in it. Blue's coming fast. Looking good. Chips flying everywhere. Chopped in for second level. Blue. Cardio becomes a factor in this one, folks, because as you can see, these guys have to stand on these planks and throw those axes in there. Almost like skipping on a Malibu surfboard. Who's doing that? We're doing that. Wood chip still going. We're finished on red. Blue not too far behind. Almost there. This is where the strategy comes into it. Do you want a shorter cut this side or a longer one the other side? Level 1 looking okay here. Drops down. Folks, make some noise for blue. They're coming home hot. Lactic acid building up in the shoulders of the big boys here. Who needs a gym membership when you're throwing axes around like this one? These guys don't. Going up to second level nearly for red. Now, if these footholds aren't stable enough, folks, obviously these guys can't get the anchor they need to throw in that axe. They want to make sure they're going to get stable footing up to level 2 here. Blue cutting in that foothold, making a start on red. This is your time, folks. Make some noise for him. Oh, top shelf over here too. Couple of matchsticks in it. Can't be any more. Axes are razor sharp. Boys throwing it in hot. Red team. Blue team. Red team. Good cuts over this side. Plenty of encouragement from the teammates. All about precision and timing. Throwing this one in. Nearly there. We've got our winner. Folks, keep the noise going for blue. He's going to take this one down. Sweats in the eyes, lactic acid build up. The hands are stinging. Couple more cuts. Few matchsticks to get through. It's toppling. It's toppling. She's done. Ladies and gentlemen, Sydney, give them your love for all our wood choppers this evening. But our winner tonight is red. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget wood chopping all week over in the arena behind us here. And you are about to see one of the most amazing things you can ever see. Stand by for plenty more entertainment. Thanks, boys.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Sydney Royal Easter Show for 2015, and welcome to our production, the Wool Industry Spectacular in Australia. My name's Greg Glasgow. These are a couple of my working mates that are going to help me out tonight. We've got Turbo, the Australian stock horse, Waddy, the Border Collie dog, and over in the shadows somewhere here, Bundy's around somewhere as well. All right, ladies and gents, now, the wool industry in Australia and the merino sheep have played a huge role in Australia's development as a nation. From back in the early days when Australia was said to ride on the sheep's back, from the 1800s through to about the 1960s, and that was because wool was our main export. Agriculture is still our third biggest business and export in this day and age, with wool sales alone totalling about $2.5 billion last year. But rather than listen to me rattle on about it, how about we cast our eyes down to the bottom of the arena, and I'd like to introduce you the merino sheep. So if you look down here below the big screen, you can see there's 150 merino wethers heading out here onto the paddock, and I'll just ask the dogs to go and bring them up here for us. Back, boys. So as I said, these are merino wethers. They're about 2.5 years old, and they've just been shorn in January. They cut about 7 kilos of what we'd call a medium fine wool. So their wool will be used for the nice jumpers and the nice woolen suits and all those sort of good quality garments that we like to wear. You'll see Bundy and Waddy, the sheepdogs, they don't need a lot of direction from me once I send them on their way. They're trained to bring the sheep to me so I can just walk around, and you'll notice the dogs will keep the sheep working onto me all the time. So as we work the sheep, we'll just bring them up here a little bit more and give the people a look around the ring, a look at them. And I just happen to spy over here below the members stand coming onto the ground now. It's Jimmy Murray and a big team of merino rams. How are you, Jimmy? Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Hey, Jim, now I think you'll probably talk about it, but they actually had a wool sale here today again, didn't they? Tell you what, mate, that's a pretty good drink for the day. I reckon it'd be good if it was going in my pocket. Yes, Jim? Yes, mate, that's the original dimensions of the bale were made to fit in wagons and, as you said, carried one either side of a camel on a camel train. And if you look down the bottom end of the arena now, we'll see a beautiful team of 4-in-hand Clydesdale horses pulling a small lorry carrying a load of wool for us. One thing about those wool bales, but back in the horse and cart days, the old mechanical presses used to put those bales out at about 130 kilos in metric measurement. Nowadays, the bale you see on the back of the truck, they're going to be more like about 200 kilos. So, whereas once it was brought down to the coast here by the horse teams and the bullock teams and the camel teams, nowadays it's carried on the back of a semi or the back of a B double. But as we said today, it's been sold here in Sydney today. New South Wales wool is sold either Newcastle, Sydney, or some of the Riverina wool will head down to Melbourne. And you'll notice on that beautiful wagon and those beautiful horses too that the wagon comes from Belgenny Farm. The Belgenny Farm is a very important place to the wool industry as well. It was the home of John and Elizabeth MacArthur, who were the pioneers of the merino sheep in Australia. Belgenny Farm Trust also run a flock of what we call the MacArthur Merinos, so they're still very much similar, true to type, to the original Spanish merino sheep that John MacArthur started with all those years ago. But now, ladies and gents, we'd best be getting these boys back on the truck and back home to their pasture so they can keep on eating that nice pasture, growing that beautiful clean fibre that we know of as merino wool. So when you go to buy that beautiful merino garment now, when you see him in the shops, that nice suit, that beautiful jumper, you can buy it and you can know you've got the cleanest, the purest, the greenest fibre known to man. So all right, ladies and gents, I better apply myself to getting these boys off. So on behalf of the sheep, the dogs, all the horses, the teamsters, the shearers, Jimmy and myself, I'd like to thank you all for your attendance and I hope you've enjoyed our little production tonight. Thank you.
Buddy, you're a boy. Buddy, you're a boy. Buddy, you're a boy. Buddy, you're a boy. Make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. Got blood on your face, you big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place. Singing, we will rock you. We will rock you. Buddy, you're a young man, hard man, shouting in the street, gonna take on the world someday. Got blood on your face, you big disgrace, waving your banner all over the place. I saw him dancing there by the record machine. I knew he must have been about 17. The bee was growing strong, playing my favorite song. And I could tell that it wouldn't be long till he was with me, yeah, me. I could tell that it wouldn't be long till he was with me, yeah, me. Singing, I love rock and roll, so put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll, so come and take your time and dance with me. Love rock and roll, so put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll, so come and take your time and dance with me. Well, you're a real tough cookie with a long history of breaking little hearts like the one in me. That's okay, let's see how you do it. Put up your dukes, let's get down to it. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. You come on with you, come on, you don't fight fair. But that's okay, see if I care. Knock me down, it's all in vain. I get right back on my feet again. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Hope everyone's enjoying their night. We are SAS. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you, get you, get you, get you. One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you, get you, get you, get you. One way or another, I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna meet you, meet you, meet you, meet you one day. Maybe next week, I'm gonna meet you. I'll meet you, I'll meet you. And if the lights are all out, I'll follow your bus downtown, see who's hanging out. One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you, get you, get you, get you. One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you, get you, get you, get you. One way or another, I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna meet you, meet you, meet you, meet you one day. Maybe next week, I'm gonna meet you. I'll meet you, I'll meet you. And if the lights are all out, I'll follow your bus downtown, see who's hanging out. I'm both out of. I believe there comes a time when everything just falls in. I'm both out of. And learn from our mistakes. I'm both out of. I'm both out of. I believe there comes a time when everything just falls in. I'm both out of. And learn from our mistakes. Na 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 na. I guess I just lost my husband, I don't know where he went. So I'm gonna drink my money, I'm not gonna pay his rent. I got a brand new attitude and I'm gonna wear it tonight. I wanna get in trouble, I wanna start a fight. Na 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 na, I'm gonna start a fight. Na 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 na, we're all gonna get in a fight. So what? I am a rock star, I got my rock moves, and I don't need you. And guess what? I'm having more fun, and now that we're done, I'm gonna show you tonight. I'm alright, I'm just fine, and you're a tool, so what? I am a rock star, I got my rock moves, and I don't need you tonight. Check my flow. The waiter just took my table and gave it to Jessica Sims. I guess to go sit with Drum Boy, at least you know how to hit. What if this song's on the radio that somebody's gonna die? I wanna get in trouble, my ex will start a fight. Na 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 na, he's gonna start a fight. Na 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 na, we're all gonna get in a fight. So what? I am a rock star, I got my rock moves, and I don't need you. And guess what? I'm having more fun, and now that we're done, I'm gonna show you tonight. I'm alright, I'm just fine, and you're a tool, so what? I am a rock star, I got my rock moves, and I don't need you tonight. You weren't there, you never were, you want it all, but that's not fair. I gave you life, I gave my all, you weren't there, you let me fall. So what? I am a rock star, I got my rock moves, and I don't need you. And guess what? I'm having more fun, and now that we're done, I'm gonna show you tonight. I'm alright, I'm just fine, and you're a tool, so what? I am a rock star, I got my rock moves, and I don't need you tonight. No, I don't want you tonight. You weren't there, I'm gonna show you tonight. I'm alright, I'm just fine, and you're a tool, so what? I am a rock star, I got my rock moves, and I don't need you tonight. Ooh. We are Sass, thank you and good night. Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Sydney,